Hello, everybody. Today we are going over an absolutely fantastic manhwa that I adore. But because there's so much to talk about, we get 5 minutes this time. Start. The name of this manhwa is Records of the Swordsman Scholar, a beautiful story driven with great action, characters, art. It's amazing and captivates me with every chapter. At the beginning of Records of the Swordsman Scholar, our main character Woon Hyun passes the scholar exam to work in the Imperial Palace. Ooh, government officials, emperors, princes. And he gets assigned to work under the Crown Prince. And the Crown Prince wants him to write about martial arts. So Woon Hyun, not being a martial artist, starts writing about records of the past of the murim and murim battles. And this isn't what the prince wants. So after failing numerous times, he does the one thing he knows how to do. Study. He studies swordsmanship by going to the captain of the Imperial Guard and gets him to teach him swordsmanship. And of course, the captain doesn't think he's going to make it very long. And then a year passes. And he finds this special record in the library of the Imperial Palace that seems like it was just gathering dust in the corner. And through studying this, he starts to get a deeper understanding of swordsmanship and your spirit and enlightenment. And then 4 years passed. And he's gaining even deeper enlightenment and makes his sword cry, something only a swordmaster could do. After only 5 years of training, he gains this, and people are like, what's going on? What swordsmanship did you learn? And they name it the White Tiger Training Swordsmanship. And he starts practicing this even further. And then 7 years later, he's still studying the sword. And at this point, he's learning from outsiders real battle stories that have happened in the murim recently. And he's writing them down as a record for the Crown Prince. And the Crown Prince likes this. But the amazing part is, just through hearing these stories, he has such a deep understanding of swordsmanship that he can piece together the final form of a swordsmanship that the person themselves didn't even know they had. So because he wants to convey his love of swordsmanship now, he starts writing letters, but he doesn't want to put his name. So he writes the name Azure Dragon Sword Ruler, Beyond Heaven's Reach. And this letter starts to have a huge impact on the murim. And eventually, his older brother, the captain of the guard, who asks, can you be my little brother? He gets sentenced wrongfully to death because of corruption. So Woon Hyun leaves the Imperial Palace. And through traveling, he meets the Murong family. And one of the people he sent the letter to and learns they're doing better. And the person receives the letter and he gains enlightenment just from reading the letter. And he teaches his son to stop being a drunkard. And later, he runs into who would later be his younger brother, Dokgo. And Dokgo sees him and goes, I'm just a frog in a well, despite being a merciless martial artist. And later, he reveals who he is to Dokgo. And Dokgo becomes his younger brother. And they build this relationship where Dokgo wants to be, this is my master. This is the amazing person in front of me. But no, he's just his younger brother. And Woon Hyun constantly kind of belittles himself. But throughout the story, he starts to realize how big of an impact he has on the murim. Especially when he attracts the attention of the Sword Emperor. And then he attracts the attention of the eccentric Buddha, who's the leader of the Martial Alliance. And he attracts the attention of the Princess of the Northern Ice Palace. And all these people lead him down to these major events. Like when he's fighting the Northern Ice Palace's bodyguard, Bing Yeon, and he's fighting this person, and with just a wooden sword, is fighting this person without moving a step. And it's an amazing fight where he beats someone who's meant to fight the Sword Emperor like it was nothing. And then later, he goes to train at the Buddha head place, the Shaolin Temple. He goes to train at the Shaolin Temple, trains there to learn mind training and enlightenment. And when he goes down, he fights the Dark Heaven Martial Emperor, someone who killed the leader of the Namgung family. And he fights the Dark Heaven Martial Emperor. And the only reason he lost is because he was using a wooden sword against a real sword. Otherwise, he would have won. And even later in the story, he goes to the Northern Ice Palace to help the Northern Ice Palace princess, who is the love interest, by the way, because she told him her name. And the thing is, the Northern Ice Princess does only tell you your name if, number one, you're a sworn enemy to kill, or number two, your lover. So this whole thing happens. And then he becomes the Blue Wolf of the North, becoming an eternal friend of the Northern Ice Palace. And then recently, the amazing moment is when all of this coagulated into him accepting how big of an impact he has and how amazing he is, and that he wants to be a great older brother to Dokgo like his older brother was to him. So he reveals himself as the Azure Dragon Sword Ruler beyond heaven's reach and becomes the center of attention in the murim, but decides to accept this role and confront all these heads of the Martial Alliance, saying, this is who I am, and I'm going to be an amazing big brother to my younger brother, and he is an amazing character that has matured into someone who could be a leader. Looks like we're out of time. You can probably hear that in the background. That's the timer going off. Thank you guys very much for stopping by. Really check out Records of the Swordsman Scholar. It is a fantastic read where you're seeing this man grow from an immature scholar who just wants to be a swordsman to someone who is humble and is beyond heaven's reach. Literally, he becomes beyond heaven's reach, even currently. But he's humble to still just be Scholar Woon. And it's this growth from low to up, where you're seeing him grow as a person but not lose his humbleness and want to be a good person. That makes him a great main character, along with the fights and the story driven. Now, I know I'm going a little bit beyond 5 minutes, but I know this story is slow paced. But if you can get beyond the slow pace of the story is amazing. The art is amazing. The characters are amazing. The relationships are amazing. Check out Records of the Swordsman Scholar. You will not regret it. Thank you very much, everybody. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day.